Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So Bitcoin is looking fantastic once again. It's pumping up. It's closing in at 40,000 once again. But I do want to show you guys what the whales are doing. You got to pay attention. If you're a Bitcoin holder, you got to pay attention to what the whales are doing. And guess what? They're buying. No surprise. So let me show you a few interesting things about what the whales are doing. Now let's look at Bitcoin and crypto and where they are heading. So thanks for tuning in. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest articles on CryptosRUs.com. All right, guys, welcome. I think it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night. Look at Bitcoin. Look at yesterday and today. We're basically back to the same point as yesterday. Of course, Bitcoin did pump up quite a bit, and then it had like a mini top right there, about 40,000 something. Then came right back down, got a lot of people to panic, right? And just came right back up. And look at where we are now, 39,700. So things are looking pretty good. We're right at 40,000 once again. Of course, the magic number is 41,000. That's what we want to see. And why is that a magic number? Well, that's a resistance that we haven't been able to break for quite some time, ever since Bitcoin fell from basically 60,000 down. So that was back in mid-May, so about 2 months ago. It seems like it's eternity. It seems like that was like 2 years ago. No, it was only 2 months ago. And we've been going sideways for quite some time, but you can see a lot of buying right now. Volume looks good. A lot of upwards movement, right? So we're getting right back up to 41,000. It'll be interesting to see if we can break through this, because if we do, there's not a whole lot stopping Bitcoin from reaching back to 60,000. I mean, you look at it, because we fell down from 60,000 so fast. We had a little breather right here, right around 50,000, but I mean, that went really fast. Right? So if we break above 41, man, we'll be at 50,000 in no time. And of course, after 50,000, guess what? We're at 60,000. We're not going to remember. We're not going to remember any of this. That's how crypto is, right? When you're kind of stuck in a rut going sideways, yeah, it seems like eternity. But when things start recovering fast, no one remembers. Do any of you guys remember that we were just at 29,000? Just like a week ago, less than a week ago? Seems like that was forever. Seems like we've been up here 10,000 plus, for forever. No, that was only like 5 days ago. So that's why you can't be scared of volatility. It's always going to be there, but you want to hang on. You don't want to make rash decisions and panic sell, because if you do, you're going to miss out on rallies like this. Now, something else I did notice, for those of you guys that are looking at some positive indicators. Well, I just noticed that in a 4-hour, guess what? Boom. Bitcoin just formed a golden cross on the 4-hour. So, as you guys know, that's a very simple indicator that shows you that momentum is definitely back. Definitely on the bull side. Last time, we hit the death cross. That was about a month ago, and Bitcoin has been kind of weak within the last month, right? And of course, the time before that, death cross happened right around 56,000. But on a smaller time frame, these death crosses and golden crosses come all the time, left and right. You can see a golden cross here. That was shortly before the death cross, but this is encouraging. Now, of course, the major one, of course, is on a daily, which the death cross formed here, but you can see the 50 and 200-day moving average. They're getting closer. They're starting to move forward, right? So Bitcoin pumps above 41,000, has 50,000. Well, that golden cross is going to be right around the corner. And that's something else that people were looking at, was the 50-day moving average. And you could see that clearly Bitcoin has broken above, and that's also fantastic. So just a little tad little TA for you guys, for those of you guys that are curious about it. So things are looking pretty darn good right now. Bitcoin is stronger though than altcoins, and some of you guys are heavy into altcoins. You may be feeling it a little bit because you can see Bitcoin dominance up to almost 48%. So even though Bitcoin has been doing well, you can see up about 8% over the last 24 hours. Well, a lot of the altcoins are struggling. They're not moving as quick. They're not coming up as fast as Bitcoin. This always happens. Whenever there's a short squeeze or there's just a whole bunch of buying and momentum, right? You tend to see Bitcoin go faster than altcoins. So your portfolio is probably gaining in terms of USD value, but in terms of Bitcoin value, it's probably decreasing. So that's not optimal. What you want to do is basically balance it out so you get the best of both worlds. So that's why 50, 25, 25, I think that works very, very well. So right now, Bitcoin is definitely leading the way, but Ethereum is not far behind, and most altcoins are doing good. Like right now, Chainlink is catching up. Chainlink 12% today. That's not too shabby. Theta is catching up 12%. VeChain 12%. Pretty darn good. And OKB, which is from OKX, that's doing good. Axis Infinity still killing it, up 28%. This game just does not seem like it wants to come down. Terra is up 17%. IOTA is even up 17%. And you got some pretty good movers. Pretty good movers for today. Let's see if it continues. I think it will. I think it will. My sources tell me that this bull run will continue. And my sources are pretty accurate. So, and if it happens to be wrong, then it's the source's fault. But my sources are pretty good. All right, so let me show you. There's not a whole lot of articles or anything I want to talk about tonight. I have a few things I want to show you, and that relates to the whales. So I started digging into a news site called Sentiment. Okay? Not Sentiment, Sentiment. It's hard to say, but they're an analytics site. They have a whole bunch of stuff. So I signed up and I started to do some digging. These are like on-chain metric stuff. You guys have seen me do a lot with Crypto Quant. I think I pretty much maxed it out in terms of what I could show. And sometimes I find really good nuggets of information to show you guys. So I think I found some more that relate to Bitcoin and Ethereum. First of all, this first graph that you see has to do with Ethereum. Ethereum's price is in red, and in purple is the supply outside of the exchanges. What does this mean? This means a supply that is held in cold wallets, in your mobile wallets, with custodians, anywhere that's outside of the spot exchanges. And can you detect this pattern? Can you sense it? I mean, it's clearly visible, right? Starting from last year, this goes back a year. Starting from last year to now, you could see that the supply that's being taken off the exchanges keeps going up and up and up and up and up. Shows you how much the whales and even retail people, they're buying and holding. They're not even leaving on exchanges. They're like, hey, I'm just taking it out, right? Now, a lot of this could be because it's going to DeFi projects. It could be going to the Beacon chain. It could be going into lending companies. But it could also be going to just people's wallets, and they're just holding it, right? And the interesting thing is, even when Ethereum's price went down, did the supply, shoot down? Did they go flow back into exchanges? No, it continued to go up and up and up. So it kind of shows you, right? This is proof. This is proof that people are just, they can't get enough of ETH, and they keep buying more and more and taking off the exchanges. Well, what about Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin's pretty much the same story. Not as linear as Ethereum, but you could see the purple line is supply outside of exchanges. Outside exchanges, not inside. And the green, obviously, is the price. And despite the fact that Bitcoin fell down about halfway, well, the supply that's flowing outside exchanges continues to go higher. Despite the price going down, the supply outside exchanges continues to go higher. So obviously, this could be because of institutional buying, ETF buying, grayscale buying, MicroStrategy buying. You have a lot of people that's buying. But here's the thing. How do I know that these are whales? So I broke it down even more. I decided to look at addresses, okay? The supply distribution based on how much coins that these addresses hold. So if you look at, right now I have the 1,000 to 10,000, which is definitely whale territory. But if you look at, say, 0 to 0.001 Bitcoin, okay? It has gone up quite a bit, kind of flattened out, but still didn't really drop dramatically. What about 0.001 to 0.01? Kind of holding steady too. What about 0.1? 0.01 to 0.1, right? Hey, still trending up. So maybe it's not just the whales. Maybe retail investors are smart too, and they're picking up during the dip. And then you go 0.1 to 1. There was a drastic drop off, but you could see it started going up. So overall, if you look at all the distribution of wallets out there, or distribution by balance according to wallets, yeah, they're all going up. But what's really, really interesting about this 1,000 to 10,000, so obviously this is beyond what most people have. This is truly the whales or miners or people that got in very, very early. Here's the thing. You did see how it started going down. This was February 21st, right? So it started going down right at this point. So if you look up February 4th, the peak before it started going down, when was that? That was when Bitcoin was around $40,000. Actually, around right now. Right before it started heading to 60,000, that's when some of these whales decided to sell. They thought that was peak, or they knew that there would be a blow off top or something that was coming, and they wanted to take advantage. But here's the thing. Look at it. When did it start coming back up again? This is what's really interesting. You look at right here. This is bottom. Obviously, this is bottom. May 18th. All right. And then you scroll up. When was May 18th? Well, that was when Bitcoin fell to about 35,000. But look at where it crosses with the purple line, the supply outside exchanges. You could clearly see that exact date is when supply outside of exchanges started to turn around and go up. Like it's undeniable that you could see that the bottom point when the whales holding 1,000, 10,000 Bitcoin started to rise back up again was exactly the turning point for supply going out of exchanges started to turn upwards. I don't think that's a coincidence. So I think that definitely shows that whales decided, okay, things are low enough. Let me start accumulating. Now, you could argue, well, why didn't they time it all the way down to 28,000? Well, most of them already got out beforehand. Now they're buying back in, right? Even though things went down a little bit, it doesn't matter to them because these are whales. They're going to hold on long term. But I find that data really, really interesting, how this point correlates to up here precisely the same day, right? So what does this mean? Well, it means that the whales are buying. The whales are buying and accumulating. But according to this, it's not just whales. Retail investors like you and I are getting smarter, which is why all these also show that things are coming back up. You know, the retail investors like this one, for example, 0.1 to 1, you could see that the accumulation started a little bit later, about a month later. This is June 11th, right? So you could see that retail investors, even though some of them held out or panic sold a little bit later, but they're also accumulating. And this is very positive. Overall, why does Bitcoin's price go up? It's because you have more buyers than sellers. And right now, that is what's happening. You have both the retail side and whale side, which could be institutions or they're just really wealthy individuals. They're both starting to buy and accumulate. And what this means is it's making things scarcer. It's going to make it so that the demand will keep rising because supply is decreasing. And overall, what does that equal to? Well, that means the price could go higher, right? So that's what I really want to show you guys today. I found this interesting correlation. I think that is definitely not a coincidence, right? That the turning point for these whales, when they started to accumulate more, is exactly when the flow going outside of exchanges started to rise up. You could clearly see this went down and then boom, started going up. Not a coincidence. Now, other things that you guys have seen before, I actually closed it accidentally, but, crypto fear index, I was just looking at that. Obviously, a little bit better. In fact, much better. Remember last week when I said, when it hit 10, and that was when Bitcoin hit 29,000, I'm like, hey, whenever it hits 10, that's usually a turning point. That's usually when you want to buy. Using the contrarian trading, view, when people are fearful, that's when you want to buy, right? That actually turned out to be a pretty good buying opportunity right there when it was at 29,000. Now we jumped up, I think yesterday or today, a few days ago, it was like 20s. Now it went up all the way to 50. Hey, pretty soon we're going to be in a green. We're going to be greedy again. So this shows you how fast things turn. And I've showed you guys, whenever you have a group, a cluster of fear, that's usually a pretty good bottom indicator. And I'll use this as a top indicator too. Short-term tops, if you see a lot of greed clustered together, that could indicate a top as well. So this is actually a pretty good indicator too. Now, besides these, what else is there? Well, the stock to flow, not invalidated. Not invalidated. A lot of talk about how if this kept going down, it would invalidate stock to flow. Well, looking at this, no, it's actually coming right back up. So right now, this light green part is the same as over here. And also, if you look at it, say like right here too, in 2013. 2013 is what most people look at because you do have like a downwards movement suddenly in the middle of the cycle, and then you come back up. 2017, we didn't really see that, although you could see that it was still a little weaker at some points. There were some times during 2017 when Bitcoin fell down 30, 40%. Maybe not as drastic as 50% and stayed at 50% for as long, but we still had some dips and we continue on. And right now, still seems like stock to flow is looking pretty darn active. We turn this around, we get back up to 60,000. We're going to be at 100,000 in no time. And then who knows what top is. Like previous cycles, the top could be much higher. We could see $200,000, $300,000 by the end of the year. And if that happens, all coins go explode like we haven't seen before. Before I move on, just to make sure that super chats don't disappear. Went all in back in March. Never waver. Thank you. Much appreciated. Jesse, congratulations. And then moving down. There's a viral video of Elon Musk saying Daddy Doge to Mars. Look at that. Okay, I'm not going to check that because that is basically false. It has been deleted by Phil. Thank you for that. When are you going to interview Elizabeth Warren? Probably never. I don't think my show is the type of show that she will come on. What's a stronger coin at these prices, DOT or Kusama? Would you hold one of these or all in on ADA? I think they're both good. Kusama is stronger. I think short term, longer term is definitely Polkadot. But compared to Cardano, I think Cardano is the strongest of all three. So I'll leave it at that. And then, all right, that's it for super chats. Do you prefer more or why, ADA or DOT? ADA. Cardano is just, the community for Cardano just is much stronger than Polkadot. That's really what it comes down to. So I'd say go with Cardano, but of course, diversify. That's the whole point of being diversified. You don't have to go in all on one. You could get both, right? You don't have to stick with just one. All right, Jonathan, thank you for that. And lastly, I just want to show you guys this. Not a whole lot of people look at the logarithmic growth curve, which basically measures Bitcoin and its path and trajectory, leading up to what we're seeing is 100,000 plus. And this still is right on track. We got invalidated once, meaning that it broke out of the channel, but you know what? Bitcoin just came right back up. There's no reason to think that we can't do the opposite. Maybe it breaks above the top portion of this. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is with institutions now aboard, with corporations now aboard, with ETFs and trusts now aboard, these guys are the strongest holders that we have, right? These guys do not have weak hands. They have very strong diamond hands. And if these guys continue to buy more and more and more and continue to hold on more and more and more, there's no reason to think that we're going to have the same kind of event, like a same blow off top where things go down 85, 86%. No, it could be similar to what we're seeing now, where after the end of the year, or maybe a little bit afterwards, maybe we get another 30, 40, 50% correction. But then, you know, we may hover for a few months and then continue right back up. There's no reason to think that this 4-year cycle phenomenon in terms of price movement has to always be consistent. Just because there's a halving of every 4 years does not mean that it has to follow the same 4-year cycle, which is basically 3 years of down and the last year being good. It could be 4 years, 3 years good and one bad year, or a mix of that. It doesn't have to mean that we have to follow the same path. We'll just have to see. After we go above 100,000, then we'll make that determination. And speaking of which, we're closing in at 40,000 once again. So only $30 away, $25 away. Let's see where this heads. If we can break, you know, oh yeah, we're right there at 40,000. If we can somehow get another short squeeze, we could blow right past 41,000. But I bet there is a ton of sells placed at 41,000. I bet there's a ton. But if you look at liquidations, you can see obviously we had a pretty good short squeeze there. And yesterday and today, or going into tomorrow, we still have more shorts being liquidated than long, so that's good. If we see another major short squeeze like this, if we could go past 41,000, we will see another bar like this, probably double, twice as high as this in terms of shorts being liquidated. So let's see if we can get that momentum. But right now, things are looking pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. Someone said we just touched 40K. Tesla says, I was way off thinking Tesla has 105 million loss on Bitcoin. Turned out only 23 million, which is nothing for them, which is why people just didn't even care. Tesla has roughly 42,069 Bitcoins. So, according to this, yeah, 42,902. So you're a little bit off, Tesla XYZ. People already calculated this. Let me see if I missed anything. Have you looked at how much Luna has burned UST lately? No, I am not. By the sound of that, it sounds like a lot. So, I just saw it hit 40 and then came right back down. Come on. We need a break. Yes, 40,000. Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good right now. It's looking good, guys. We only got 40 to 100. We only got 900 points to go right here. That's what we're looking for. And why did I say that? Let me zoom out a little bit. See, clearly right here. Once, twice, 3 times, about three times we couldn't break through. That's what we're looking for. That is what we're looking for. Is 0.01 BTC enough? Well, depends on enough. If you're trying to build life-changing wealth, you probably need more than 0.1 BTC. If you want to become the upper 1%, 1%er in terms of Bitcoin holdings, probably 0.01 will get you there. But if you're truly looking for life-changing wealth, you probably want to strive for a little bit more than that. The statistics before was, I think 0.23 is what people should strive for. That'll make you the upper 1%er. So yeah. Do you think Axis Infinity is temporary hype? I think a lot of it is. Yeah, but it makes me wonder. Remember Farmville on Facebook, how hot that was, and that lasted for years upon years. When you have a viral game, it could go on for a very long time. And I haven't played Axie Infinity, but people tell me you could buy Axies, you got to buy 3 of them, you could breed them and get different attributes, and then you could battle like computer bots, but you can also battle each other, and there's an arena, and there's just a lot that goes on with it. And it seems like it's a really good model. But again, I haven't played with it, so I don't know. But hot games could definitely continue to be hot for a long, long time. All right, I'm scrolling down here. Whale incoming, killing the short sellers. I don't get why anyone want to short Bitcoin. Anytime. Even when it was at 29,000, which is probably the worst time to short. But it's just not worth it. It's really not worth it. Why would you want to get wrecked? The one thing that you don't want to short is Bitcoin. You could sell it, but you don't want to short it. But, I guess we got to applaud the people that did, because some of the short squeezes that we've been seeing recently is due to them. So what site were you on to get total liquidations? That's this site. It's called Coin Analyze. Coin Analyze. Actually, it's not Analyze. COINA. Well, I'm just go put it in the chat. You guys have been noticing I have not been drinking, so I'm trying to be a little bit healthier. Trying to, cut out a little bit more alcohol, although I just picked up a brand new bottle of Blue Label. I finished that last bottle a little bit too quick. But I'm trying to be a little healthier, trying to cut back on White Claws too. I got to do a little more exercise, but it's tough. Max Payne, I didn't look at that. I think it was like 41,000 or 40,000. I don't show Max Payne that much anymore because it was invalidated a long time ago. A few months ago, it was showing that it will be at 50,000. Obviously, it didn't, right? So it's one of those strategies you can follow, but it's not that accurate. So I'll check it out maybe tomorrow. What about Ripple and Amazon? What about it? The two are not pairing up. What are your thoughts on Coinbase Pro's recent listing of Fetch AI? No thoughts about it. Coinbase has been listing a lot of stuff recently. And the Coinbase effect is not kicking in for a lot of projects. Case in point, like Rally, for example. Rally is a project I use to create my George coin. And they got listed on Coinbase. It was very hush-hush. No one knows about it. It got listed. It did diddly squat for the price. So I think Coinbase is now rapidly adding any project that is US based. And they're trying to really compete with Binance and Binance.us and everyone else. So Fetch AI is not anything with AI. I'm just not a fan of. I think it's just too early. There's no point of having a marketplace for AI just yet. Jesse, I don't know what he said exactly about VET, But, we know that things are very early. And I think he's not taking into account the close ties it has with all the major companies in China. So I don't know exactly what he said, but I'm going to continue to be bullish on VeChain. Cal says, I'm super bullish on ETH. There's some rumors that 1559 will be delayed into 2022. Is this true or nothing? It could be. I mean, who knows? I don't know why they would go from August to being delayed for 4 months to 2022. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It could be delayed until September or October, but to be delayed all the way to 2022 doesn't make any sense. BPro to the moon. BPro has been doing very well because their NFT marketplace, another projects start utilizing their NFT marketplace, which is really good. CVX, it's been out 2 months. It's a Curve Dev team's version of UFI. No mainstream yet. It's number 7 on DeFi Pulse. No, I am not. CVX. Convex Finance. Very, very, very small. Very small market cap. Boosted Curve staking. Deposit liquidity, earn boosted CRV and rewards. So it's a way to take Curve tokens and earn even more from it. Something like that. Yeah. And you got a synthetic token too. I don't know. If that's your sort of thing, I guess. Not for me. I'm not particularly interested in any of these like crazy yield farming and boosting. That's just not for me. I'd rather invest in protocols that support DeFi and NFTs, or DeFi projects themselves, or NFT projects, but not so much all these crazy, yield stuff. Axion SLP. Well, that's the love potion, small love potion, right? It's killing it here in the Philippines. That's probably why it's getting very, very hot. Very hot indeed. WAN chain, I don't hear a lot. Tell says, I'll give you my blue label for my Lego typewriter. That's not a fair trade. Typewriter is mine. It's sold out. Harmony One, I'm still a big fan of Harmony One. In fact, I have a whole box of their t-shirts that I was supposed to give away at GeorgeCon, but obviously that's been postponed, so I'm not sure what to do with it. Just hold it for another year or something. What would be the best exchange to trade when the hype is up? BTC hit all-time high. Coinbase, most exchanges crash. Any advice? You just have to go through a number of them. You don't have to stick with one. Most people that's been in a space for a while, have like 4 or 5 exchange accounts. So that's how you protect yourself. You could Coinbase, even though it's the biggest, there's a lot of alternatives. Gemini, Voyager, Binance.us, they're all US based, but there's a lot more out there. Kraken, Polionex, and around the world there's others too that I don't really know. So just open up a few accounts just to protect yourself in case that happens. I don't know if it's your cup of tea, but I made good money in Popsicle Finance, really cool DeFi project. Okay, good for you, but just based on that name, I could probably guess what it is, and yes, it's not my cup of tea. New Orleans here, serious note, regulation coming. I think 90% will be classified as securities. It could be. But a lot of these, first of all, a lot of these projects are not based in the U.S., so the SEC is not going to look at them. Second of all, I think it really hinders on this Ripple case because SEC is claiming that Ripple is a security, but Ripple is trying to say, hey, why do you view us as a security? Prove it. And the SEC is like, we don't have to prove it. That's why Ripple brought in a person that testified for Ethereum and deemed it as a non-security. So if Ripple somehow proves that the SEC is mistaken, that they're not a security, right? That would be a big thing. Then people will use the same defense. I think right now there's just no good defense in terms of determining what is a security and what's not. So it could happen, it could not, but I don't think it's going to be that simple where the SEC could put a blanket statement and say, oh, you're all securities and you need to shut down. I don't think it's going to be the case. They go pick and choose their battles, but if Ripple wins, that's going to be a big thing. Can you send me on to Australia? Why do you want to go to Australia? I actually do want to go to Australia sometime. I don't know. I just want to throw a boomerang around and see what happens, and watch the toilet flush in the other direction. I'm not a fan of reserve rights. What do you think about Shiba Inu? It's the same. The same. Coming out Shiba swap doesn't change a darn thing about Shiba. At least they're trying. The team is trying, but it's still a meme coin. And there's way too many of them. And every single one that comes out and pumps takes liquidity away from all the other meme coins. So I don't think it's a surprise that Doge has not been coming up as well as some of the others in this space. The same thing with Shiba has not been coming back as strong as some of the others. And that's because there's too many of them. James, no, it's been postponed. Too much Delta scare, and I'm moving that till next year. Adrian, I would, except I don't want to pay shipping on all these Harmony shirts. I have like 50 of them. I do not want to pay shipping on any of them. So it's probably going to be an in-person thing if I give them out. So ERN Eternity? No. I don't know what ERN is. Alan says, "I'll take a Harmony shirt." Yeah, I could. I could give you a Harmony shirt. All right. Looks like Bitcoin couldn't hold 40,000, came back down again, right? But you know what? I have a feeling this is going to continue on. At least my sources tell me that. My sources tell me that Bitcoin's rally will continue, and it will press against 41 again soon, and then we'll see what happens. But my sources are usually correct. So, just so you guys know. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Limited volume coined episode. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Where do you learn to trade, or how do you get into crypto? That's a long story. Long story that I'll tell some other time. But I've shared it before with many interviews, and I've created videos. Scroll through my channel, check out the one where I talk about how I got started. Then you'll know. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's see what happens with Bitcoin. I showed you guys some interesting metrics about whale accumulation. And not only that, retail accumulation too. This is all happening behind the scenes. And it's going to lead Bitcoin higher. So make sure you stick with it. And you know what? My sources are never wrong. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys.